Alright, hey, welcome to Speedgaming 2, and welcome to the qualifier, the last qualifier for the SMZ3 online portion of the tournament. So tonight, we got Fred Coughlin, you might know him from Zelda 1 Randomizer, and Lackattack. Very evenly matched. Good runners, good at a lot of things, actually, including playing his own game in the case of Fred. I'm Scupula. I'm joined by Neaterific here tonight.
Hello. Last qualifier.
Yep, we're on a 10-minute delay. If you're looking at your clock, that'd be why. So anything you see happened 10 minutes ago. Fred is sus. That's brave. Sus and Goku. This is a it's kind of thing I would do. Also, I'm doing a tracking, so if I miss something, oops.
No one gambling on Morph Ped.
There's your Kakariko bombs, or most of them. It's like Fred wants some money. I do this about half the time, and it makes sense whenever Fred's not the one who found the money, and Lackattack starting at the house, a few bucks, is going to go head up toward Uncle. It's going to result in a few bombs anyway, so that's good. For Fred done sweeping the floor here, and gonna move on to Kakariko through the south route. Lackattack will be from the north. It's the kind of split you want, you know. By the way, I was told that somebody who told me was told to tell people that these are typically co-op teammates. So, you know.
And now they're face to face.
Some metagaming, maybe.
Will the friendship last?
I wonder if maybe this is what they're doing in co-op anyway. They go this route, each of them. Some more money there. So the Houlihan doesn't feel the best at this point, but
it's nice and safe.
Yeah, it is.
And in the end, your opening rarely matters because you will converge on the same spots.
So I think we've seen 2 items so far, 5 times each, 20s and bombs. There's something I can click. You got the quick swap jams. Those are always fun. And catch library, but nobody's saying anything, so.
It's pretty hard to catch it when they're quick.
Well, we got 30 frames here today on our thing instead of 15, so it should be okay. Well, that's a I wonder what other songs Lack will play out for us here tonight. There's a glove from the chickens.
Maybe I think most qualifiers we were seeing heavy SM action first. Maybe this time tonight will be different. We'll have Dark World access before Morph.
Yeah, if you play Z3R, you'll see that, you know, that's primarily what you're looking for, and sure enough, that was quick enough to where I only got the pendant on Eastern.
I blinked, so I missed it.
But we got a flute here in blinds, whatever.
Oh. Early mobility is always nice.
Yep, right here where you can turn it on. So, yeah, seed hasn't hit too hard just yet. So if anybody here is paying real close attention to that map check, let me know. So comment in chat about forgetting the flute when you find it here. Yeah, I think we've done it. We've all done it. I think you remember it better whenever it's not in CAC sometimes. But Lack's going to play us a tune that doesn't involve quick swap for once. Lack about to get the glove here, and just had one of them bombs fell out of the pocket.
Black gets his glove.
I don't think we saw a map from Lackattack yet, did we? We're leaving CAC at around the same time. There it is.
There we
go. We got it.
Crystal at Desert. I saw that.
Yep, we got him. All right, and then for anybody wondering, or even for those who have no idea, pendants can be in Super Metroid, and the credit for completing Super Metroid bosses can be here. We're having just
also known as boss tokens for Super Metroid.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't drop anything per se in the Super Metroid, so yeah, they're representative of the fact that boss is dead, even though it doesn't do anything that the boss being dead would normally do game wise.
Yeah. That's important to mention, because just because you got the Fantoon token doesn't mean that Wreck Ship is lit up. You still have to go to Wreck Ship and kill Fantoon to make that happen.
Back of Escape. What was that first one?
Did not.
Well, just a mushroom. No button for that here, so TBD.
Right, 7 bombs for medium old arm. That should be plenty.
Oh, spring ball. Yeah, I guess we don't have a thing for that either, but yeah, that's nice. Yeah, early. See, now this is the thing. Early mushroom, especially if you play Zelda 3 a lot, can be a thing. I mean, here, well, it's a thing.
That's an orb.
So, see how long it takes Lack to get that, but it's not the most obscure thing, so probably won't take too long.
If he doesn't get Morph Ball, he'll probably get it soon.
Yeah, these marbles kind of work against each other, like you say. If you get Morph, like I was trying to say before, if you play Zelda 3, you're basically, when you start the game, you're looking for 3 things. It's either a glove, a hammer, 2 gloves, and a moon pearl. Here you're doing that and looking for basically Morph Ball, Power Bombs, and Super Missiles.
The last 2 you are guaranteed to have at least 1 pack of in Sphere 1. That is Super Missiles and Power Bombs. Lack loses a bomb down the pit, but gets a double kill.
Yep. Be careful with this one. Yep. All right, look at that. That was close as you can cut it.
And if Coughlin looks like he's farming the bush
Yeah, and did you see that? The final prize is an 8 bomb. So, I mean, money and
Pretty good.
bombs, not a problem.
So this is going to be an early Zora play.
Mm-hmm. See, now
Faster.
Lax already got 150 more for some reason.
And then the mini hold'em gave.
Oh, yeah, the 300. That's right. What was it? You know what? I knew I was going to do this. Is there anything else in there? Good. This is going to happen all night. Yeah, we'll find out.
I tried cave. Nothing.
See, that's a skill there Fred just showed you. Having the wherewithal to know where the door trigger point is and not cross it, just to get away from all of that business.
And that is perfected. fcoughlin just saying you did not have good stuff for me, sir.
Super's power bombs. I mean,
Yeah.
it might be the only ones we see. It's not likely, but it could be.
For a while.
Yeah, for a while.
That was from again. So looking for glove or looking for a hammer. Or lamp and a sword. And cape. And Morphal can interrupt whenever it wants.
I guess we can look for those other things you said, the unmentionables, but... So yeah, with the mushroom and even less to do than Fred had is going to be a moon pearl here for Lack.
And Fred's doing his Zora play.
And Fred wants Hobo first. And if you are confident in your ability to fake flipper again, you can do this. It's out of logic, it will be, no matter what SMZ3 logic settings you have. You still have the insta-kill here if you get hit while doing this. There's some Metroid boots.
Footwear, that's really handy. Especially once you get to speed and space jump. And that's true, Zora himself is in logic thanks to the gloves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lamp out of logic, but it's a lamp nonetheless.
You may have heard people not caring about lamp or whatever, but I mean, it could be something to light things with where you may not have one otherwise.
One of the qualifiers had a fire-locked fire rod, so
yeah,
could not skip that lamp. And that's Mitz.
There it is. Ready for more marbles in the dark world, I think.
Yep. And no hammer, no sword. Just bombs.
So yeah, Lax running that into Village of Outcasts immediately. We can do stuff like Friend of Escape here, but
Okay. Red crystal at Turtle Rock. Green pendants at Ice. Tokens at Mire, Pod, and Thieves.
Yeah, I have this thing called print screen. So give me a minute here. Just don't push it while the blinking is in the wrong state. Fred gonna hold off a bit. check Saha here, and this is something that makes sense because this can get forgotten about in a hurry if you're not careful.
Right. Big keen compass chest. Nothing of interest, that's the Hashla.
You know, I was a little semi-anecdote type thing here. One time, I was playing Zelda 3. fcoughlin was nowhere to be found, but I was on Restream and did a thing involving leaving a bomb on the desert torch because I left midair the entire game. Somebody's mentioned it was called giving it the Fred Coughlin treatment. So, and now he's done it twice already for relatively minor things, and I understand.
Ah, that's a sword.
Swingy.
Unfortunately, he can't bomb jump across without killing himself. So he'll have to do the intended way of getting the big chest.
Yeah. The spaghetti plant just about jumped real quick. That was scary.
Gets the convenient 4 bomb drops from a critter.
Yeah, there's 2 more in, I think, the upper left and lower right pots there, but it's pretty obscure.
And Coughlin went all the way to Eastern.
Yeah, we have, well, lately seen quite a lot of shenanigans going on in a pen in Eastern, so this is defensible.
I mean, you don't need to defend checking through 1 to me, I understand.
Well, it's bootless, bowless, and I guess the bow, whatever, but you know, especially bootless.
But it is tier 1, and more could be there.
See, and even that can mess you up a bit because, you know, if your opponent doesn't do it, which is also defensible, that you could be running down a empty rabbit hole, given how much Morph tends to open. But yeah, we'll see. It's like a vanilla big, so a little extra running.
Oh, this is... I really hated when the mummy's waiting for you in the doorway. It's like, well, death warping out.
Happily take the death warp.
Alright, so last item is fire rod locked.
Yeah,
Did get a sword out of it though, which is a very important find this early.
It's definitely important there. If you don't have that, you're not getting in that door.
Damage. Angus is big key. Very quick setup for fcoughlin. Shows he's done it before a few times.
Yeah, I usually bounce off the right wall to get it in 2. So that's an interesting way to do it. Probably safer. Yeah.
Last item is on Armos Knights.
So I saw what, $20, and that's some other junk, I guess.
All right, I'm gonna see Meyer. It might be Quake locked. No mana to use it to open it though. It's Bombos actually.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the quick 2 here before you go into Dark World proper, like Lack did.
Hook shot at the chess game.
It's a pretty good one with the flute that's East Mountain, right?
You can, yeah. There's a lot of checks. Something like with 50. Rescuing the old man. We are not hammer locked in Thieves Town.
Yeah, it's something I still, really have to take situationally because, now you're given the opportunity of the big chest when you don't have a hammer, but it's like you said, the logic now says you can finish this.
It's really rare that you'll be punished
It
for going
is.
to Thieves hammerless. I mean, it happened to me like half a dozen times, but more than half a dozen times, a lot more than half a dozen times, the hammer was in Thieves Town or past Thieves Town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a dozen times on blind himself. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, no. Actually, I was thinking, I don't know if blind can have the hammer. I guess you can if the key is first or something. I don't know, but definitely seen it in Maiden Cell, and I think it even happened recently in something I played. So. There's Fred's map check. We'll get him clicked off here. Already had the pendant knowledge from Sahasrala. So by my count, we got 1, 5, 6, and 2 pendants. Uh-oh. Want to take a guess who's got the pendant?
Ooh. Ridley.
Ridley, of course.
Coughlin got his sword and his death warping out.
So this is another discussion we had before the game about pendants in Super Metroid, and I know I mentioned it when we came in here, but the odds, and I went to look just so I knew what I was talking about, of that happening are manipulated a bit. They are 30% for one pendant, 3% for two, and then, like I said, 6 and 10,000 for all three. So,
Yeah, that's... Stunt prize is actually vanilla, I think. A rupee.
I wasn't counting, aka I missed what attic chest was, but...
I think Lack has done this script a few times online.
Once or twice. He's a fast learner.
Oh. Blind's touching the light. If you did really fast, it's supposed to kill Blind all the way to the left before he comes back and touches the light. That's 2 seconds saved.
Alright, so who knows if there's an item left?
Probably the... I don't remember seeing the map, but... Public Evil Edge Scout to know if we'll need Cape eventually. The answer is no.
Chat doesn't like the odds at all. Probably should have went with that instead of not paying attention to what was going on in Thieves Town after mentioning about leaving an item. Black wants some pod money. That's fair. Pretty much resigned to dealing with the last tech box at this point. Second power bomb packs, always a nice thing to have. Of course, you could have 3, and I just missed one, but second and third are nice. After that, it's like
After that, it's if you count on having to help run or not. Well, Crystal Flash in general, or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think in this tournament, at least, or lately, too much pressure to force anything suitless yet. I mean, it's normal logic, so you won't be required, but plasma bombos. Yeah, well, that would be Meyer with a hook shot. How fast do we want to do that?
Maybe Kane is Meyer.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've seen Hammer there at points with this early access. Now, Lack doesn't know about Mario, so he might decide to do that shortly, but we'll opt for the mountain first, and, there's a lot more up here. Okay, I should have started paying attention to P1. How much was in the front? It was either 1 or 2, I know.
Did not count, unfortunately. But did you see the map? Because we've seen the compass, so...
We saw the map?
If you saw the map... Oh. No, but if you did, it would mean there's something in the big chest.
Come on, chat, where you at on us? Let us down here.
Maybe we'll commit to the mountain.
So you're going to get yourself 1 check here. And you want to try not to get caught waiting for this Sova to come back.
Oh,
that is a way to do it for an item you just picked up. Wow.
It's actually the fastest way to... It's faster than a missile or a beam.
Well,
it is a beam, I guess, but...
Yeah, I don't know. He would have had time for 2 shots. Yeah, wow. Anyway, map up in the attic, so... Yeah, there is an item left.
In the big chest.
There.
Odds are pretty good. It's nothing important.
Say it a few more times, so it'll be very... I've definitely seen a Varia suit, and I think it was in a tournament setting once, so... See how bad we can curse this thing. Okay, so Lack is quitting. Not going to do the east side just yet. This could be... Oh, this is bombs. We don't have any. We need some of this.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
It could have gambled. There's 4 rocks on the way to the eastern side that you can pick up to get a 50-50 shot at a bomb, but probably wants a guarantee of having bomb.
Yeah, and I didn't even think about the rocks till you said it, because you can jump right off there, but you can also get the snot beat out of you trying to pick them up.
Yeah.
So that's pretty quick, at least.
Oh, it was too slow in the second hook shot. Because if you do it quickly, you can hit the dead rock twice to make it move. as it's
yeah.
turning to rock.
Just like you saw there. So yeah, thanks for the demo. But
fcoughlin kills his blind. It was touching the light, but less than lackattack did.
see, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a thing.
It's just if you do the script perfectly, blind will not touch the light when he explodes.
Oh, well.
Most people, after doing the first 2 rounds perfectly, don't really care if the third one is a little slower.
I mean, you could have told me it lagged or something, and I'd have believed it.
All right, Paradox game has been disappointing in the last few qualifiers I've come.
Yeah, this and height make up for each other usually, but you know, there's no rule for that.
So far, so bad. There's a cane, but it's the wrong one.
Yeah, so best thing in either of those locations I mentioned was maybe bombos, probably plasma.
Can't do Hera, no hammer.
Yeah, this was a thought I had. I thought maybe, you know, I wanted to get some other checks done that weren't done to see if the hammer would show up before taking this long trip, which would be nice.
Floating island was nothing. It's not a floating island, it just pierces the clouds.
Yeah.
That's a silly name.
Yeah, it's just attached to something, I guess.
Yeah, it's Destron Mountain.
Although, you know, on the topic, I swear, you know what, paradox, you know what I think happens since you can't really see up and down? I think the bottom entrance of paradox is actually higher. Like it dips. You ever think about that?
Not really, no.
That would explain the coming out in the wrong area.
Alright, well, so far the mountain has had nothing of worth.
Yeah, but if like this area here that lacks in is the low spot,
yeah,
then you know,
could be. Or the programmer just made a mistake when he linked the caves.
Nintendo never makes mistakes.
That's right, because console games do not have bugs. Especially like, was it a release title for the SNES or close to one?
Just Fred's over here with the one bomb. We'll be happy to see these other 3 here. And that's all you want.
That's right. Okay, Turtle Rock Scout. Mambo Stew. Alright.
Alright.
Awaken Ether useless. Or more shots at getting progression out of Death Mountain.
So yeah, we currently have full D6-7 knowledge of medallions between them. They each need to check the other one at some point.
Wow.
Nothing?
What a slap in the face. There was nothing at all.
Yeah. I mean, context erasing, you're going to assume your opponent's going to do this, and well,
that's correct. Both have bombos. It wasn't Hype Cave.
Oh, did I? Whoops. Well, I know I clicked bombos on the 1.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it.
Cracker loves to eat input.
Well, I can only make an excuse for the 1.
fcoughlin begins his tour of disappointment. Well, part 2. I did not see what was on Desert Ledge, but this is a Nagina check. After that, we're probably going to see Smith Shane with no mirror, which is always a left-right.
And then when you get the early gloves and Moon Pearl, you're kind of hoping Morph shows up before you leave the village, just for this reason.
Alright, so like, what else? There's Spod. If it's not Bullocked.
Yeah, thinking about SN still, which, you know, we only got to 2 still. Or,
High jump boost.
Yeah, high jump. Which...
Put the second check in logic.
Now, Lack didn't get those, right? Pretty sure.
I don't remember where they were.
Yeah, because, they're out of logic, too. So, yeah, it's pretty much just 1 check. But that was Hobo. That was pretty spicy from Fred, so... Hey, since I can't dig up my DM, Sky, if you want to pop in and let them know or something, I can't add you. But
this is probably Smith Chain play.
I guess I could just send you the link too.
The Hydra Boost also put the E-Tank in the Blueprint ceiling into logic. So if you go down to Morph Pet, there's another in logic check thanks to the boots. But yeah, you can also climb. You can climb the Red Tower, which means Morph could be at Alpha Peeps. But yes, exactly. Hydrogen boosts are out of logic.
Yeah, with the things
As is the
involved.
lamp, actually. Sorry, it is the lamp actually.
Yeah, but I was, already, even after the high jump before the lamp, thinking, okay, flippers can't be that far behind now, right? But
well, I said that once when I saw gloves in library. Oh, cool. They ended up to being go mode knits.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that tracks for gloves and boots, for that matter. Fred's third murder of the day.
Okay, so maybe we'll see front of us gate, which would be new grounds, I think. We have already seen Eastern, and it's pretty disappointing. Really, he skipped that one guard. Nope. Money. A map, so we know there's something at Dark Cross, because we also have the extra key. Spike Cave requires the hammer just to get in. Coughlin damaging down. Planning to death warp off the green guard he left. Oh, or the bomb, I guess. Gonna check for sure. Dark Cross. And we still have pod. Wait, do we still have pod? No, we don't. We need a hammer for pod or flippers for it to be in logic. And that's an ice rod in Dark Cross. Well, tonight won't be an ice rod hunt.
Flipper's locking that too.
Flippers could just be on morph pad at this point. I'm going to do front escape probably. No, will Coughlin climb? Gonna check rock escape first. Nothing. There is nothing. Out of logic, blueprint item could be what we're looking for, however. And it is nothing. Purple chest, probably. I don't think we've done that one. So, Meyer versus Purple Chest? Turning in the dwarf smith. As lack is in mire. The lamp is out of logic. The flippers would put it in logic along with Bod. For some, it's just money, and the dwarf and smith had nothing. So it pretty much leaves the last item in the mire and whatever the purple chest has. Like, also use some magic. So he doesn't have to take damage over the spikes. That's actually, that chest is not in logic unless you have like cape or gain or something, I don't know. Maybe the bottle.
Where's this in mine? You know what, if that's true, I don't know, because I think they said in Zelda 3 at least they don't care, but I guess it could be that...
Morph ball in mire, sorry.
No, that's okay. That's a big deal. Not quite a hammer, but, you know,
Ooh.
Just a little bigger.
Chooses to bail and not find the big key.
Yeah, just get it later. We're out of here.
Yeah, it'll be faster later with boots. Like I said, we're just waiting to be interrupted by Morph Ball in our checking all the other 3 checks.
So, it's Pearl, Hook Shot, Bombos to the Morph Ball.
Black chooses Rick Chip, or maybe just the most. No, Rick Chip. Oof.
Look at us save. So here's Fred following suit, and now that I'm pretty sure neither one of them had much left.
That's his last checks in Zelda 3. His last, sorry, in logic checks.
So yeah, turn the plasma on. That can get away from you if you're not careful, especially I haven't been in SM in a week. Those don't turn on automatically, that and Spazer. Which I guess is because maybe they haven't found a way to turn one of them off. If you have them both on, bad things happen.
Spooky hallway is not, well, when all you have is a sword, normal sword, and you think you go fight Vidi before you find anything else, then softening up the ice with bombs helps a lot. And you don't want some bomb capacity upgrades. Mid 2 or 3 Doppler. Ooh, fast. Very good Doppler. Third cycle should, 3 cycle should be a gimme. Getting a long cycle though.
And here's that big key. Fred's hanging around to find it, so that's out of the way. course, got it before the morph, so. But yeah, pretty nice faint tune. Not gonna lie.
Yep.
So regular crystal there. Which is, it's another thing. We're still waiting to see where that pendant is. We have to check each individual area. Or just go kill the boss.
Ooh.
That's big.
Super attack. Yeah, always welcome. Early, man.
You have plasma, so you can live without it. But I mean, that's nice, especially if you're going to go to the attic, which I think you will. That'll speed things up.
And we get a reserve tank.
Yeah, we'll pick it up. Not a lot of ease yet.
If Coughlin going up, kill a crate first, maybe. Because we don't have an illogic way to Bubble Mountain. Well, I mean, we don't have Varia, but even with Varia, we don't have high jump boots or anything.
Well, I said lackattack was going to the attic. I didn't think I would see it before Rexship E-Tank. That's a new one to me.
Super's in the crate wall. Almost got the D-boost. Twice. I wouldn't say D-boost, I mean the clip. Clipping through the, going through the robots. And yes, fcoughlin is going to fight Creed.
Uh-oh. Imposter's hiding.
Oh. Oh, there it is.
A little 1-1 super to the nose here, so we're going to stand him up.
E-Tank at... Oh, E-Tank speed locked. Yeah. In Rexship.
There's the 5-6. Kraid had that. Stragon or Ridley? Your odds are improving, Nita. Guess it's more of a thing to think about if both suits show up in relative proximity.
Black picks up full heart for Link. Understandably, Link is kind of squishy right now and lacks some firepower.
So they're both a little squishy. Not Samus is currently prickly, I guess.
Oh, in Crazer Warehouse. Still no hammer, but if Pod is Rolog, we can get in logically. Only a piece of heart at Sky Missiles.
Yeah, it's a relief missing that. Took a shot at it, but hey. this loadout. It's not the easiest or fastest thing to get up there, so. This is where screw attack doesn't help you, so we're going to bounce once off the floor and said, that's enough, we're going to grapple. Help me out, though, with the logic on this. I don't think you need to grapple after, what, 2 tanks or something? I don't know if it matters anyway, but...
Two checks remaining in rig chip.
First bottle, pretty sure. Lee wants it. That is about it. So the bottle's another one of those big TBDs, although with 4 of them, you don't typically only see 1 before finding out this kid has something nice, but...
Yeah. Beware of wildlife here. Kill Mike, hit the fish, and eat like any tank worth of damage or more.
Yeah, this crab that's coming up, I guess he might not go down, but he is. Screw attack right through, no problem. But that's a flat 100. It's 100 or 120. Either way, it hurts. Fred giving the Alcatraz a shot, but at this stage, you know, 1 shot, you don't make it just go around. So yeah, since I know with the late morph lackattack, it could have gone the way Fred is, but didn't. So yeah, we're going to see some divergence again. It's very rare. Green Burn Star doesn't have anything good, but there's always the possibility of having to think about what waterway might have. Which we cannot do without speed. Every other speed check in the game you can look at. Yeah, at least. Except for, I guess, the second one in Aqueduct, but we don't actually need speed for that. Gravity suit down here, so that's first pretty big payoff.
And fcoughlin grabs his gravity suit.
In case anybody's wondering, it goes yellow, orange, red. Although, you know, that's a choice you can make. It's, if you're designing Among Us sprites, you got options for colors.
Like I guess it's to be kind of careful here, not to get knocked into the spikes. Unfortunately, X-Ray had nothing.
Yep, and that's exactly what happens to me.
Yep.
Well, immediate good news. Rex ship is Fantoon. That's it. Oh, did he save here? Or wait, where is this?
This is the tube?
Oh, you did save in a tube. Okay, because that's not a common.
And it's third red tower. Seeing the whole map is always weird to me.
Yeah. I didn't even notice. That's not a save that gets made, but one that could have very well been in mind of doing X-ray in just in case something like that happens. But if he hadn't, I was going to say Rex ship is, Fantoon and out with screw attack, and you don't lose a bunch of time there. Lack wants to not risk that again, which is fair, but well, I guess in 8 you have to go back to X-ray, you know what it is, so it would be very difficult to do from here anyway. Fred, meanwhile, just with the gravity suit, nothing else spectacular. He's going to clean this thing out as much as he can.
Like, use its spring ball to skip the hole. And skip it, having to wait for the block to respawn.
You know, that was it spring ball, or did he? Because without high jump, is that even a? Here's a mirror, though. I don't know if you can. I don't know. I didn't realize.
Are weird.
Okay, so Nito, you win.
I mean, I win.
The pendant guess.
Oh, Ridley.
Yeah. Trigon's got her own token. As Lack shows us.
Nope. For this tournament so far, Specky Clip is not allowed. Phaser. What was that? Oh,
first
sport skip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it would be nice, but it isn't.